top 10 meta cards out of Alliance Insight. Now make sure you guys smash the little crap out that subscribe button, and then, check out our friends at Kong's Cards, Gamer's Choice, discount code IMCO40 will save you on your purchase over there. So we're going to be starting off over here with Dippity. Now, I was very shocked to see that Konami tossed Dippity into a main set. Konami, you're crazy for this. But I actually appreciate the fact that we have this deck here, or at least this card that now makes the Primite engine a little bit better. Also, it is a level 4, which is the difference between playing this and White Douston. Obviously, it's a little bit more of an aesthetic pick for sure, but it's cool to see that we are going to start getting these ported over into main sets, because we need these cards. These cards are very, very strong. They can sometimes change the tide, and it's all because the Primite package out here allows for these cards to kind of twist and turn things around. So definitely a take, that's for sure. But I'm leaving Dippity here because I think it's going to do some stuff. And then we have Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. Now, I think Life Dragon is by far one of the better cards out of this set, and it does make top 10 because of what it's able to do with Blue Eyes. So on its Synchro Summon, you can draw a card, High Spirit Dragon. I'm really happy to see that you can do some things. If you do choose to play this with its actual support, if you've got the World of Spirits on the field, you can add a Light Beast, Plant, or Fairy, or an Eternal Sunshine from your deck to your hand instead of the draw one, but I know where my commitments are. And then this thing can attack from defense mode, basically. So you can attack with a Spirit Dragon, toggle on out, and then boom, you got another 3k up in your opponent's face. That's a lot more than you should be allowed to do with this card. I think that this card is going to be very, very strong. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate it. And with Blue Eyes already kind of being like a rogue contender as it is, I think you've got to have as many options as possible. So we'll take this. Next up is going to be the Psalm, or the Song of the Dominators. I love this card. I think that this is really cool. I actually debated between this and Dragon's Mind for, which card was going to be better, but they both kind of serve the same purpose out here. They're both going to be negates. They're both interruptions. The difference is Psalm of the Kings has the ability to recruit for other Dominus cards, and then Dragon's Mind basically is a counter trap card that works with Regenesis. By the way, both of these cards are something that, they're going to be a little bit more slotted into their more specific decks. You're going to have to make some opportunities and decide, oh, hey, do I want to play this and, this? What synergy do we have with this? Psalm of the Kings has a little bit less availability to it versus Dragon's Mind, but both of them I'm going to leave here. I do think that Songs of the Dominators, though, is really, really cool for what it can do. And also, hey, if you've ever wanted to play, those fun little decks that involve interrupting your opponent every single moment, looks good. Evil Twins. So I decided to put Evil Twins in the top 10. I had to think about this for a little bit, but a lot of people out here seem to think that they know something about this deck. And the more and more people that I see kind of looking around going, oh, hey, is this worth it? I don't know. I think that the Evil Twin stuff is really cool because it bridges so well into Fiendsmith. Like, it does so many cool things. But you've got to think about it like this. Is there a trade-off to not playing the Primite stuff in this versus the Primite build? I don't know. I think with the Evil Twin stuff, you get a cooler end board, but the Primite stuff provides more protection. So you gotta decide which path you want to go down here. But it is cool to see that the Evil Twins are getting a pretty big representation by the community, just for how much the people love this deck. Heraldic Beast. No matter how you want to spin this, the Heraldic Beast stuff gives you some absolute BS, man. This stuff ensures that you can hand loop your opponent for everything. I do kind of feel sometimes looking at the Heraldic stuff that it does feel a little bit win more in a lot of situations. Because oh boy, I can shave away cards from my opponent's hand. Yay! But one hand trap just kind of puts you in such a really weird place. And sometimes you can't really recover from that. And I don't know if I like that. I think that the Heraldic stuff is definitely going to do something on the really weird front. Like, especially if people don't know how to play against it. And it's going to depend on maybe one Ouroboros is going to get the job done for you. Maybe you'll take 2 to 3 cards out of your opponent's hand and call it a day instead of going full throttle. That is 100% an option. You've just got to decide on how you want to sculpt up your actions and go from there. Regenesis. So you got Dragon's Mind, again, showing back up. Regenesis, something we saw in the OCG with Regenesis was they loved playing Lava Golems in this deck. They built this going second creature of a pile that would just attempt to board break your opponent. And it's a really scary deck to actually watch play. Also, if you're not paying attention to the Regenesis monsters, these things will recur back to the hand, and you're going to have to suddenly deal with all of these monsters that you just dealt with. They've also got a Soul Charge, which is very, very scary to watch just unload out here. I don't know what to tell you about this, but if you are not prepared for the stupidness that Regenesis just goes, oops, here comes my entire field out of nowhere, and you're just left with this really, really weird situation on cleanup. Like, it's so weird. And then we have White Forest. Well, you got the new Diabell Star Sisters. The White Forest cards give you a field spell search, which is really, really freaking good. That's for sure. You've got this in combination with the old Sinful Spoil stuff, which now gives you an Omni Negate on top of that. I see this as an absolute win, man. Konami took everything that the White Forest deck had said, slapped it, sent it, and said, all right, you're going to create a decently, 1.5 low tier 1 deck out here. I think that the TCG is going to particularly break this deck because we have a problem. We love looking at White Forest cards, and we see all of the craziness that comes with this deck. I think that this is going to be a TCG baby. I think a lot of the TCG players are going to try to find a way to innovate this, and I don't think that that's necessarily bad at all. All right, it's because decks that have high ceilings bring players in and get players excited for what they can actually try to do with the deck. Then we have Star Risle. So this is the card that's supposed to save Risle in its current iteration in the TCG. It's going to be a little bit rough because Detonators at 1. We lost a lot of the, all the names got restricted. I'm not saying that this card's bad. I'm saying that this might be a 2 of out here, but the thing that makes this card, in my opinion, really, really strong is the fact that it gets you to the field spell or it gets you to the plasma. It depends on where you're at in the combo that you would be needing to get this card to do your thing. And it does a lot for the deck. Like I said, I mean, the TCG right now is already, this card was trying to play Star Risle, try to fill up the spots. I think that this card's probably going to see a decent amount of play, but also, you just slot it on into the Fiend's-Mill Risle build that we have, and you're probably just going to get a better combination of things. Either way, Star Risle is coming. He's supposed to save the TCG. Let's look forward to it. And then we have March Hare. God, man. March Hare is such a stupid card. The fact it's during either player's main phase that you can banish and special summon it is so frickin' stupid. The fact that it protects the Link monsters from being targeted when they point to her, which is also very frustrating to deal with, an extra form of protection. And the fact that, gosh darn well, this card's going to be a 3 of. Every deck is going to be looking at this going, oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. You know why it's good? Because the card literally was made to be busted. And Konami did a frickin' fantastic job with this. They said, hey, let's go ahead and start limiting Malice cards. And then let's give them their extender so that they can just go even more crazy as their boards are going. Like, it's nuts to me just to see how good March actually could be. And technically, our best card in the set is going to be Ally Code Talker. I don't think anybody's really going to argue this too much because Ally Code Talker does so much. It also goes further beyond here because this card's not just restricted to Malice. It goes to every Cyverse pile deck out here that you get the ability to bring back as many of these 2,300 attack point monsters as you want. So hi, Adignister, go ahead and load back up your field. You get the Malice Link monsters, which they did plan for the synergy with this. They knew what they were doing. They took a look at this and said, okay, we're going to go ahead and give you guys some extra little synergy with this. And, of course, it ends up being an Omni Negate, which, man, Code Talker was already like kind of struggling for like an end board, but then you went ahead and said, "Hey, let's go ahead and ship them a big giant negate out here," and now we're left in this way better of a situation. Well, I do agree with you on that. That's pretty good. It does create some interesting board states, that's for sure. And then number 0 is Mitsurugi. Now, the reason why I'm leaving Mitsurugi up here, I kind of forgot they were in these videos, but I wanted to toss them up here because I'm not sure where these cards are supposed to go. I think that these cards are incredibly broken, and if you don't think that they're incredibly broken, LOL, you're just absolutely doing it wrong. Like, these cards do so many cool things, and I'm honestly impressed. I look forward to seeing what people are going to come up with out here to make Mitsurugi absolutely broken. But what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.